Imagine a brilliant boy, admired by everyone, praised by teachers, and a source of pride for his parents. His name was Daniel. From a young age, his intelligence stood out. Everyone believed he had a bright future ahead. But there was one problem, a problem he never took seriously. Daniel didn't know how to handle failure. Whenever something went wrong, he made excuses. He blamed the situation, the timing, the circumstances, anything but himself. Next time will be different, he would say, but he never changed his approach. Instead of learning from his mistakes, he spent hours playing video games, chatting with friends, and watching TV. His parents warned him, "Daniel, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you'll face even bigger failures in the future." But he always replied with confidence, "I have plenty of time. I'll fix it later." Until one day, the inevitable happened. The annual exam results were announced. Daniel, once a top student, performed disastrously. The teachers who once praised him now looked at him with disappointment. The friends who admired him began to drift away. When he got home and handed over his report card, he saw the disappointment on his parents' faces. That night, alone in his room, Daniel felt empty. "Why did this happen to me?" he thought. "I've always been smart. How could I fail like this?" For the first time, he felt lost. He didn't have all the answers. That's when he decided to seek help. And the right person for that was his grandfather, a wise man who always had a story to tell. Sitting beside his grandfather, Daniel confided, "Grandpa, I don't understand. I've always been a good student. Why did I fail so badly?" His grandfather smiled patiently and said, "My dear boy, failure isn't the problem. The problem is never learning from it. Let me tell you a story that might change your life. Many years ago, there was a wealthy merchant named Marcus. He ran a large business and was respected by all. However, he had a fatal flaw. Every time his business suffered a loss, he blamed luck. He never reflected on his mistakes. One day, Marcus made a risky investment and lost a huge sum. Friends and advisors warned him to be more careful, but he ignored them. "I have plenty of money. One failure means nothing," he said arrogantly. But the pattern repeated. He invested without planning, trusted the wrong people, and worst of all, never learned from his failures. Over time, his fortune dwindled. One day, sitting on the steps of his empty shop, he realized he had lost everything. That's when an old sage approached him and said, "Marcus, failure is not your enemy. It is the greatest teacher you will ever have. But if you refuse to learn, you will keep failing." Marcus, intrigued, asked, "How can failure be a teacher?" The sage pointed to a small tree by the roadside. "Look at that tree. When the storm came, some of its branches broke. But did it stop growing? Number it grew stronger. Just like that tree, you must learn from your falls to become stronger." For the first time, Marcus understood the lesson. He started analyzing his mistakes, avoided repeating them, and worked smarter. In a few years, he rebuilt his empire, but this time, without repeating his past errors. Daniel sat in silence for a moment, absorbing every word. "Grandpa, does that mean I can still change my life?" His grandfather smiled. "Of course, my boy. The secret is to stop making excuses and start learning from your failures. If you do that, nothing can stop you." That night, Daniel made a decision. He would no longer run from failure. He would learn from it. The next day, he grabbed a notebook and made a plan. He analyzed his mistakes. He realized he never revised his lessons, got distracted by unimportant things, and never asked for help when he needed it. With this new mindset, he started studying consistently, sought guidance from his teachers, reduced time spent on distractions, and most importantly, learned from every mistake he made. Over time, his efforts began to show results. His grades improved, his teachers recognized his dedication, and his parents, once disappointed, were now proud. His friends admired him again, not just for his intelligence, but for his determination. Years later, Daniel became a successful entrepreneur. And whenever someone asked him the secret to his journey, he would smile and say, "Failure is the best teacher, if you are willing to learn." Failure does not mark the end of your journey. It is the beginning of something great. If you learn to see each mistake as a lesson rather than a punishment, you will always find a way to improve. So the next time you fail, don't be discouraged. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Because if you keep learning, success will only be a matter of time.